You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hey, this is John Preston, Marine Combat Veteran and Pacific Records recording artist. Just reaching out to have you check out our new album, Battle Cry, Songs of America's Heroes, an album featuring phenomenal other combat veteran artists like Scott Brown of the Scooter Brown Band, Ryan Weaver, Rowdy Johnson, just an incredible mix of people. This is all veterans telling our stories and our lives, and we're giving 100% of our proceeds to the Valkyrie Initiative to help veterans and first responders integrate back into society. I myself have battled with post-traumatic stress for many years and lost my own brother, a Marine Corps veteran, to suicide. I ask that you step with us and make this happen. We are in pre-order right now and release on March 17th. Go to iTunes, go to Amazon, buy. We plan on making the charts and making it at a very high level, and your support right now makes a difference. This is the release of my new song, Superman Falls, which is actually about the loss of my own brother, which happened last year, and I would love for everyone to check it out, to listen, and hopefully it'll make a difference in many lives.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies with your host, Jason Marshall.
Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies Martial Law Edition. Martial law is basically the people's court or the Judge Judy version of the podcast, where if somebody has a problem with somebody else, they come on the show and I decide who is right and who is wrong. Not only who is right and who is wrong, but who must be punished. The plaintiff is a frequent guest and comedian. Her name is Mama Kate. The defendant is ChooChooStu, host of the Totally From UK Today, a.k.a. Totally Fucked segment, and 1/3 of the hosts over at Cave Crew Radio. Both parties have to respect my ruling and agree to fulfill the punishment both parties have agreed to no matter what. ChooChooStu, you're being charged with failure to follow back on Twitter. How do you plead?
Hello there. I plead not guilty, Your Honor.
All right, Mama Kate, the floor is yours for opening statements.
I mean, really, it just all comes down to I followed Stu way before he followed me back. I mean, to me, the etiquette is you work on a show together. I'm clicking follow. He clearly saw that I was following him. Why wouldn't he just click follow right then? Why, Stu? Why?
All right, Stu, do you got a counter argument for that?
I heard that opening statement there, Your Honor, and...
Your Honor, what a suck-up! It's not going to change the ruling, Stu. Just answer the questions.
I wasn't the one. I wasn't the one that was just outside having a cigarette with Your Honor. Your Honor. In cahoots. They call in cahoots. So anyway, Your Honor and Plantooth. I'm ChooChooStu. I'm an ordinary guy from London. People see me as some kind of superstar status, which fair enough. I'm apparently big in podcasting, though I can't see any evidence of this. But hey, if you throw enough shit, people, some of it sticks and people will believe. As did Mama Kate. Was it Mama Kate? Mama Kate. Sorry, I was trying to get your username. Mama Kate. Do we have a username, Your Honor? Mama Kate Comedy.
There you go.
That's a very loose term, comedy.
On the Twitter. I mean, I'm pleading not guilty. I can go into my full statement, or would you like that now, or would you like me to hold back before I let the dogs out? As it were?
You can go at it with both barrels.
Let the dogs. Just say it. You don't like me. You don't think I'm funny. You didn't want to follow me. It's all right, Stu. I'm a big girl.
Now, look. First of all, I'd just like to say, when it comes to things like Facebook and Skype, I'm a very discerning user. And as I say, someone like myself who is quite large in podcasting, I get requests left, right, and centre. I mean, I have to turn my phone off at night so it doesn't disturb me from all the requests I get from the USA, who are usually 5, 6, 7 hours behind me in time. So I'm a very discerning user, and I don't always get time to go and look who has followed me. Now, Your Honor, just for the jury's sake here, ChooChooStu, 2,201 followers. Okay.
Wow.
So that's quite a substantial number. It's not the biggest, but it's quite a substantial number. Now let me just check here, Mama Kate.
Oh yeah, I have. Hey,
comedy. Add the comedy. 450 followers. Now, 4 times the amount of followers. It means I'm more likely getting 4 times the amount, the number of requests. Yeah. Now, I haven't got time to troll through every single one. Yeah. And especially as we're behind, you probably followed me late at night as you're out doing your comedy thing. I would imagine as soon as you came off stage thinking, got to follow Stu.
I do. I was like, this man is an inspiration.
So
I need to hear his every tweet.
What probably happened, I don't mean to interject in the middle of these proceedings, but I would imagine Katie was on stage and they associate her with the podcast and they associate Stu with the podcast. And while she was on stage, there was probably a ChooChooStu chant broke out in the crowd.
They were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you know ChooChooStu." And then they look on my Twitter and they're like, "Wait a second. You don't know ChooChooStu. You're a fucking liar. You ruined my entire credibility."
Now, so this
there was almost a riot.
Now,
I was run out of town.
Now, putting this following Twitter numbers are 2,200 for me and 450 followers for you. We'll put that aside for 1 minute. We'll just do a little check here. Now, I had to check because when I was obviously summoned to court, I had to say who was summoned. So I just done a quick Google search. Mama Kate comedy. Right. Let me just see. I'm just 1, 2, 3. No, nothing comes up.
Yeah.
I think they call out a Google. There was a name for something where it doesn't have any responses. But I'm afraid there's nothing comes up there. Well, if it does, it's not you.
Well, I can actually explain why that is.
But I can explain. This is part of the reason why I didn't follow you back. Because I like to follow names. Yeah, I like to follow names. Although I'm a big supporter of up-and-coming artists, yeah, when you're up and coming, let me know.
Yeah, you know, you are absolutely...
I'll be first on the bandwagon. But just as a comparison, I thought to myself, do you know what I'll do? I will whack ChooChooStu in the Google machine. Right? It took 0.72 seconds on a slow internet connection. And the first one, Junior Intern, that's me, ChooChooStu, on Twitter. The second one, Podcast Train on iTunes. Third one, Podcast Train, Apple, big name there. ChooChooStu, YouTube. And then five beautiful pictures of ChooChooStu, followed by LinkedIn, that I'm not even on, and then an imposter.
You got an imposter account?
I've got an imposter, yeah. Someone has tried to... They're probably actually just sifting through my tweets just to make sure they're okay, and then forwarded them on to me. So this is all in my defense there.
I, as a judge, had to do the fact check while you were talking about that. And ChooChooStu does have quite a bit that comes up right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
I Googled Mama Kate. The first thing that came up was Mama Kate's Twitter and an image. And right under it was Junior Intern at Twitter.
You Google Mama Kate and ChooChooStu comes up.
Second post.
Well, now you see how cagey and intelligent I am, because by doing this, I have irrevocably linked my name with ChooChooStu.
And I don't know what version of Google you're using, but it didn't come up at all on mine. But maybe I'm using the co.uk, so I should actually use the .com version, shouldn't I?
And the best part, right next to her image on Google is an image for Choose podcast. Podcast side by side. This couldn't be better.
Aren't I clever?
She's not riding the bandwagon. She's riding the podcast train.
Exactly. Well, let me say, in my defense, I only started using Twitter a couple months ago. Really using it, like actually posting on it and stuff. And what I decided to do was I didn't link it to my Facebook or to any of my friends or families. So all the followers that I have on Twitter, I know have come from this podcast or doing comedy.
Yeah.
I also haven't done comedy in 2 years because I was in an accident and broke my leg really badly.
Just someone pass me that violin.
Yeah.
Sorry, back to the
Such
show.
an English reply. Fuck you and your leg.
I would like to say the third thing that comes up in a search for Mama Kate is a tweet that says, I wonder what Barack Obama's doing right now.
Well, that's pretty much why I started using Twitter, is because the people that I was on Facebook with, like, I just got tired of the arguing and the politics. And, you know, people were like, oh, I wish we'd stop talking about the election and the politics. And can't we just go back to happy, funny pictures of kittens? So I said, all right, so I'll separate the family announcements, the pictures of the kids and stuff. That's all for Facebook. That's all for the family and friends. And then the politics and the inappropriate stuff, that's for Twitter. So it's kind of a separation of...
The fourth thing that comes up when you search for Mama Kate is the hashtag, I ate your candy.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Stu. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I was just going to say, I just actually put in a Barack Obama and ChooChooStu come up.
Do you have your settings so that no matter what you put, ChooChooStu comes up? Do they have like a secret narcissist setting that I don't know about?
Oh dear, oh dear.
It's not a search engine. It's a stew engine.
It's a stew engine, yeah. He's created it himself.
He started a GoFundMe.
He's like a 6 degrees of separation experiment.
Just going back to my defence, I was going to say as well, when I finally did get to see that Mama Kate had followed me, I actually assumed it was Kate Middleton.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you assume that?
I was thinking, Kate. And of course it's Kate.
Yeah.
You know.
The Duchess of Cambridge, of course.
But then I realised I'd already accepted her friend quite a while back. But
is there a difference in our Twitter and your Twitter? Because my Twitter, I don't have to accept their friend. They just...
Oh, no, sorry, not
Okay.
accept. I'll follow back.
Oh, okay,
Follow
yeah.
back.
The show of
Follow.
ultimate respect.
And I can't remember when I followed you. Did you send me an automated response?
No. I don't send any responses.
Thanks for your follow. You can follow me here on YouTube and come and see my live show tonight down at the Comedy Club.
Side note, I'm not going to say who this is, but somebody followed me on Twitter, and the thing was like, it was an automated response, and it was about the size of a book.
Wow.
And I almost replied, hey, thanks for sending me your ebook.
Well, I mean, I guess my question for Choo-Choo is, why the fuck are you even on this podcast? Like, what was it about Jason that made you be like, I think I'll do this?
Do you know what? As time has gone on, I was thinking, how did this even happen? I don't even know how it happened, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I found we don't have cookies. I have not got a clue, but it was just obviously just scouring the podcast listings or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about that today. How did me and ChooChooStu meet? And I couldn't really come up with anything. We're just magically friends. It's so bizarre.
The podcast family.
There's usually some kind of origin story somewhere.
Yeah.
You don't just wake up and you're friends with somebody and start doing podcasts. But that's what happened with me and Stu.
Yeah, I mean, really, how often are, someone from Ohio and someone from London gonna... It's not like you guys cross paths.
But I must admit, I do listen to a lot of podcasts, and when I enjoy something, I usually tweet it or something like that, well, I usually tweet it and say it was good, or I add it in a list or something like that, so it must have been on one of my Monday morning lists of podcasts to listen to.
Yeah.
So, Your Honour, I don't know if I've got a lot more to say about my defence.
This is an incredibly complex situation that
we've covered your face, your Skype, not your Skype. What am I talking about? See, I'm getting my social media mixed up. We've covered your Twitter and your followers. We've covered your Google search. Have we talked about my narcissistic tendencies? No, that was something else that I've worked out.
No, we covered your narcissist settings that you've created for your own Google.
Oh yeah, that was
searches.
funny enough because I had that wrote down already. Been a worldwide phenomenon, D-list celebrity.
D-list celebrity.
You and Kathy Griffin, same level.
I'm just surprised I haven't been asked on Big Brother yet or something like that, or Get Me Out of the Jungle or whatever it's called, you know?
That's our next campaign.
What's that?
Get somebody on the podcast on Big Brother. Or we could just do our own podcasting Big Brother. That would be fun. We all have kids, so it'd only be a week long. It's not going to span 4 months.
So we're just going to call it a vacation, really? Because when you have kids, you're always in a Big Brother situation because everybody's got to know what you're doing all the time. Every time I stand up, 3 people are like, "Where are you going? What are you doing?"
I don't know if you can take a podcast player or an MP3 player on Big Brother, but I think I would do that and just lock myself in the bathroom. With a bottle of whiskey, carton of cigarettes, and an MP3 player.
That's all you need? Just an MP3 player?
Nobody would ever vote you off. They forgot you were there. You're in the bathroom. I like it.
As long as there's more than one bathroom. Otherwise, you're just being a dick. Get out of the bathroom, Choo-Choo.
He could do some Mission Impossible stuff where he just puts his arms and legs across the top of the bathroom so he's stuck to the ceiling.
See, I figured he'd just lay out in the bathtub, and then when somebody needed to use it, he just closed the curtain. Go on about your business. I'm not leaving.
Does the defense rest?
I'm resting.
All right. Well, I was going to go back to you to see if you had any counter arguments, but I think we did that while
I have no counter arguments. This whole thing came out of a joke that I made to Jason one day.
You're not laughing now, are you?
I mean, honestly, to me, when I see people who follow me on Twitter, I mean, some of them are truly shocking. And I'm like, why? Whatever brought you here? Like, how did you even find me? Because you're right. A couple years ago, I had all of my comedy videos removed from the internet because I was looking for a job. And I knew that if anybody, looked me up and connected me to my comedy, I would never get a job. I'm a little too open. Yeah, that's why you can't find any. Well, that, and I went to pick up my son from football practice one day, and some of the guys from the team were waiting for their rides, and they were like, "Hey, Mama Kate, you're hilarious." And I was like, "Oh my God, no." All of these parents, everybody, has now made the rounds talking about smoking pot and going to Kroger's parking lot. I'm talking about, the difference between sex in your 20s and sex in your 30s. And like I can't have this stuff just floating around the Catholic Central community.
And I did pull a clip on how this all came about. I'll play that right now.
Oh. Well, I'm a little pissed at our friend Choo-Choo because I followed his podcast as soon as it came out, but he didn't follow me on Twitter until this morning. So, You're
gonna have to send some flowers or something. Yeah.
Don't we have a court system that can rule on this?
Oh,
isn't there a thing called martial law that?
Yes, there is, and I'm writing that down.
I'm bringing the case before the martial law.
That will happen.
Watch out, Choo-Choo. Woo, woo. I'm coming for you.
You're going to get a summons in your DMs.
Yeah. She Since he's international, I don't think he has to. I don't think he has to answer your summons. You have no power.
This is an international court of law.
Says you.
That's all that matters.
I want to see the United Kingdom give their seal of approval.
All right. Well, I guess it's time for closing arguments now that we've gotten all the beginning arguments out of the way. All right, Katie, what's your last pitch?
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't blame him one bit. I don't follow me either. You want to get right down to it?
I was hoping I was going to lose and there'd be a retrial. Right?
You can take it to an appeals court. Okay, I changed my mind. Throw the book at him, Your Honor. A narcissist like him must understand that there's more people in the world.
Well, Stu, I was going to ask if you had any closing arguments, but I think Mama Kate covered it for you.
I've given the arguments for everybody. I suck, and I don't blame him one bit. I don't know.
But just out of respect, do you have anything you would like to say to close out?
No, all I would say is go easy on her when you when you make your decision. Go easy on her, yeah.
Okay.
She's got kids. You know? She's out at comedy clubs during the night.
Uh-oh. Do you guys hear that? I can hear some Trump supporters outside chanting, "Lock her up."
I believe it. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go to my chambers to to consider my ruling, and I will be back.
And now, Comedy A Go-Go presents Fake Advice for New Comics.
Being in a coma is probably one of the worst excuses you can give for not writing new material.
Do you have an impression request for Marco Fuji or just want to contact the show? Send an email to jason@wedonthavecookies.com.
Okay, everybody. The punishment, as agreed to by both parties before the trial, is to retweet the winner for 48 hours starting June 22nd, the day this comes out. And I'm allowing a 12-hour grace period due to the difference in time zones. I think that's very gracious of me. I want to throw that in there. I have decided to rule in favor of ChooChooStu.
I'm shocked.
Now, because this is martial law, I have also decided, because...
Sorry, the cult was erupting there.
But Mama Kate, because of your previous record, you do have another conviction. I am adding another 12 hours to the 48-hour grace period.
60 hours. Because I'm a repeat offender.
Exactly.
What happens if I get my third strike?
Oh, I'm pretty sure we're gonna find out.
It's so unfair.
We'll
When does
probably
it start in 12 hours time?
It starts June 22nd.
Oh, June 22nd.
Yeah, this won't drop till then, so
You're going to have to remind me, because I don't know what day it is. The kids are in summer break. I'm home all the time. I have no freaking clue when the 22nd is. Don't remind me.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure.
You won't forget.
If I can send subpoenas and DMs, I can do that.
I don't know if you have transatlantic powers, Jason. Do you have the ability to work in the international courts? Have you been approved for this?
That is one thing I would like to say to those listening at home. I do have a nice fancy judge's wig on.
Yeah.
I meant to ask, was you in the correct attire for this job?
Yep, black robe, nice fancy white wig.
Yep. curled to perfection. He even put a patch over his lip just for aesthetics.
And I have a little blue bow in it. All right. Well, that's my ruling. The gavel is banged.
I'm used to losing.
Justice has been served.
That was a lot of fun for us. Yeah. I don't know about Katie.
The fun hasn't started yet.
I'm looking forward to it. It'll be great. I mean, really.
What can I tweet?
I know. Start coming up with stuff. It better be good. You'd be like, Mama Kate is a fat, bloody cow.
No, there's no need to be nasty. I will be very pleasant.
I almost switched my ruling. Instead of going with the 48-hour retweet thing, which turned into 60 because you're a repeat offender. I was going to say, since you say most of your followers are from the podcast, everybody unfollow Mama Kate. Let's get her down to 40.
Yeah. Well, you do what you got to do, I guess. You know what? It wouldn't even matter. Honestly, I could not be on Twitter at all, and it wouldn't even fucking matter. Nobody likes or retweets anything I ever put out there. Like, it's useless. I'm pointless. I just.
Well, you might get a lot of followers now.
Why do you think I did this whole thing? I'm just kidding.
She's riding that podcast train to Twitter.
Yeah. I have zero aspirations at this point. Like, it's really just a vent. It's just a way for me to ignore my children.
Riding the podcast train to Twitterdom would be the name of this episode if we didn't have a special episode.
We've latched onto your caboose, eh? Sorry, my husband's best friend growing up, he used to hang out at our house a lot before we had a bunch of kids. You know, we were still college kids. And his mom would always call us. She was from London. And she'd be like, "Hello, lovey. Have you seen James?" Man, I love that woman. And so hearing you talk, it just makes me think of her over and over again.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how is her accent?
Oh, it sucks. He used to tell me that all the time. He'd be like,
Well, to be honest, it's not bad. I mean, I was sitting there looking at my phone earlier while the TV was on and the news came on, and we've had this terrible disaster over here in London.
Yes, that is horrible.
But I heard someone talking. I was thinking, have they just put that accent on? And I had to look up and thinking he was doing a London sort of Cockney accent. You know? And I was thinking, has he made that up or what? But yours isn't bad, actually. It's not too bad. I mean, you've got to be consistent with it. If you're going to do it, you know, if you ever do it, keep it up all night, you know?
Yeah. I should do that just for fun one night. I used to, when I was in college, because I was a theater major, I would go to the store with friends and then pretend that I was like a international student. Like I didn't understand what they were saying. And, you know, I'd like...
And if you don't retweet every tweet, I think you're going to have to pay the price by doing the next We Don't Have Cookies after that in English accent, the whole show.
The whole show, yeah. Okay.
In fact, I think you should do it anyway. Just for dragging me into court today.
Yeah, just for... He's like, I had so much better shit to do.
I might tack on another 12 hours for the frivolity of this.
Hey, I'm up to 72 hours. That's 3 straight days.
I would love it if Stu just went on to, I forget what it's called. I think it's TweetDeck or something, where you can schedule your tweets out.
Oh, yeah.
And from now till this drops, he just schedules one every couple of minutes.
Well, it'll be interesting. I shall accept my punishment with grace and dignity, as befitting a Kate who is not the Duchess of Cambridge.
So, Mama Kate, when's the trip planned for the UK and the tour over here?
whenever it's set up. I will England, I'm not someone who wants to like travel the world. I'm like, I don't care about Africa. I don't care about South America. I don't care about any of those places, but I love England. I love it. Love it. Love it. I want to go there so bad. That's my place. Like, that's the only place I really want to travel to.
I would like to do a live podcast from England someday. Yeah. That would be great.
And the feeling is mutual. I would love to come to the States. I've only been to the States once in my life, and up until about 3 years ago, I never ever wanted to go there. I wasn't particularly fond of the USA, but since I've been doing this podcasting thing and virtually meeting loads and loads of people, it's opened my eyes to the USA. And
well, I'm interested now. What were your feelings on the US? I mean, what was your perceptions from?
Well, I didn't really pay much attention to it, really.
That's how we feel about Canada. Somebody asked me what I thought about Canada. I'm like, I don't ever think about Canada.
But I was never overly fond of like American TV. I just had a sort of stereotypical view.
Well, I'm not either. I watch the BBC, Doctor Who, and Sherlock.
And my only experience of America was Las Vegas.
Oh, well, that's not Ohio's nowhere near Las Vegas.
I did go there for a week, but I didn't really do a lot when I went there. It was just playing the slots and sitting in the jacuzzi, and I met a young lady while I was there as well. But I didn't really do a lot while I was there, so that didn't really, and I can't really compare that to the proper America, can I?
I always like Love Actually, where he goes to America because the girl's there and all he needs is an English accent. I'm like, he's fucking right. I mean, it's crazy the way that American women will react to an English accent. I mean, clearly not yours, Stu, because it's a London accent. You need something a little more posh.
Yes. Well, one can do posh if one needs to.
See, that's the thing. Like, it seems like Britons can do American accents very well, but Americans can't do British accents for shit.
I think it's vice versa.
Really?
I want to hear Stu do an American accent.
Well, you see, you've got so many regional.
Well, it's the same thing with England.
I know, but you only ever do one.
Yeah.
Or you might do a Scottish or something like that. But I am just genuinely, I'm just terrible at accents. So it's like, hey, you guys. New York, you got me a hot dog.
I'm sorry, I laughed so hard I didn't hear it. I heard, hey, you guys, and hot dog.
I just want to go and see Mama Kate.
Well, what's funny is that movie, Something About Mary. The character that played the crippled friend who wasn't really crippled, he was a delivery driver. He's actually
Evans.
Yeah, he's actually from England, but everybody gave him shit for his English accent, told him how bad it was because they thought his American accent was the real accent. And his English accent was fake.
That's horrible.
I went and saw Lee Evans doing a gig, and he was he came on first. He was the backup guy,
Yeah.
When he was first starting out, and he was hilarious. I don't know if you've ever seen his gigs, but he's amazing. He's a brilliant, brilliant comedian.
No, I've never seen him do stand-up.
And he sweats profusely. He's like, his suit is soaked in sweat by the end of the gig. You need to look him up on YouTube. He's a brilliant, brilliant comedian. Very good.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. And if you ever come to the States and you're by yourself, I got a room for you. I don't know if I can accommodate.
I don't want to spoil it by bringing the family.
Yeah,
I just don't.
That'd be awful.
I don't know if I have room for a whole family, but
yeah, I've got a few places planned on my trip. So
where's that? Where you want to go?
Well, I do have to go to Canada to see my friend DK from Cave Crew Radio. I need to go to New York to see Mr. Big B, who's also from Cave Crew Radio. And there's another couple of people in New York I'd like to see. And then there's places like North Carolina and Virginia. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all sorts of places, really. Maryland. I want to go there.
Why? What draws you there?
Well, just people that I've sort of virtually met. And I was thinking, yeah, I'd like to go to that place. So put it on a list.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun. Because that's how I feel about going there. I want to go to London.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to go to Scotland. Check that out. I'd like to go to Ireland since that's where most of my family came from.
Yeah.
I want to go to Wales.
Most Americans come from Ireland, don't they?
It seems that way.
Back to the old country.
Yeah.
We're Sicilian Irish. Which is kind of funny because in the United States we do look at our heritage. It's a very big thing. I'm part Sicilian, I'm part Irish, I'm part English, part German, or whatever. I don't think they do that in the UK because you're just English.
I started doing my family tree, right, about a year or a couple of years ago. I found a message on a notice board, on one of these family tree notice boards saying their uncle lived in this house where my grandmother had lived for 87 years. And I was thinking, if their uncle lived there, it must be someone related to me.
Yeah.
And it turns out that I actually went and met these people that were my relations, and how both of my grandmother was born in a pub in the East End of London. And that pub was owned by her parents. Now, her parents were related to these people that I met. So one of them was from North Carolina, and her sister was from on the outskirts of London. So the North Carolinians come over to meet up with their family, and while they were here, we all met in our forefathers' pub.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
That's neat.
Yeah, so that's the family tree for you. So,
yeah, but you don't look at your family and go, oh well, some of my ancestors are from Ireland, so that makes me half Irish. Or,
No, but it's quite possible.
I know you just think of yourself as English, British, I guess, not English. Nobody's.
Yeah.
Whereas Americans, we're always like tying back to our. They're like, I'm loud and rude, just like all my Sicilian family.
I've only gone back a couple of hundred. I've gone back for about 150, 200 years, something like that, and I got stuck and gave up.
Yeah.
I never thought much about it till I was working my office job. I switched apartments, and there was some really old lady there, very sweet. She sat right behind me. I walked past her one day. She told me I looked like I just got off the boat.
Did you tell her they're not bringing boats of immigrants anymore?
That was her exact word.
Like Ellis Island's been closed for a while.
Yeah.
There weren't any boats dropping people off in Ohio. Like that's...
You should have put on an Irish accent and done a little Irish jig for her.
Hands off me, pot of gold.
Well, Stu, before we go, do you got anything you want to plug?
No, at the moment I haven't, apart from KLRNRadio. I haven't done my own show for a number of weeks. I've just been really, really lazy, and there's no other real excuse. I've had a few family bits and bobs, but no, I've just been lazy. And it's like, when you go to the gym and you've got all the intentions of, yes, I'm going to do this, and then you just stop going for a little while, and then you can't get back into it.
Yeah,
so that's where I am at the moment.
Yeah, I really enjoyed your podcast when it was going. It was a good time.
Thank you.
Cave Crew Radio's really a good time too. I was on there the last 2 weeks. I had a lot of fun, and I want to thank you for having me on there.
I know. Why would they invite you? They've listened to the show.
You got anything you want to plug?
You know I don't have anything.
Your Twitter or thing like
well,
that?
Yeah,
Some of your videos. Do you want to repost your videos and plug them?
Yeah, did you save the videos?
I have one. The other ones were through Rooftop Comedy, and I actually wrote to them and told them that they could put them back up, but they haven't.
They'll be hearing from me.
But I mean, I imagine people want to follow, see if I'm going to follow through on my punishment.
Hey, do you want Stu to tweet Rooftop Comedy? I'm sure he can have them up by the end of the day.
Yeah, I know. Can you use your clout to help me out?
All right, guys. Well, I think that's it for us. Please go to WeDon'tHaveCookies.com. While you're there, you can get all the contact info to send an email or leave a voicemail, links to the Facebook page, places to subscribe to the show, and all the archives are right there. It would also help a lot if you click on that Get Involved tab at the top of the page. You'll find a lot of ways you can help the show, most of which are free, and the easiest way to help the show is just spread the word. So thanks for downloading the episode, and I hope you had fun.
Thanks for listening. Tell your friends about the show and leave a review.
Yeah, hey, you guys.
That's it for the martial law portion of the episode. What you're about to hear is an unaired portion of yesterday's episode, Kenny the Counselor. The podcast version was approximately 90 minutes long. I get an hour on the radio, so I couldn't air the whole thing. If you like it and you want to hear the rest, go to WeDon'tHaveCookies.libsyn.com. You can download that and see all of the past archives. This will cut off abruptly. I want to give you as much of the episode as I can, but I hope everybody has had a great weekend, and I hope you tune in next Saturday at 6 p.m.
How can you not have a webcam? They're like $50.
We're going to have to raise some money.
You really?
You know,
you're going to have to sell the mobile home to get the camera? Is that what you got to do?
$50 is about what I made last year.
Well, that's 75 more than I made. That was 25 in the hole. Apparently Marshall inherited that land or something. He said $50 is about what he made last year. I've been getting on him for not having a camera. I told the respect deal, so we told that story while you were urinating with the animals.
Urinating with the animals, that's how I like it. Can't go without him.
Who left the biggest puddle this time? You or Two-Cow?
It's always Two-Cow. You can't outdo Two-Cow. He will pee for like a minute and a half straight.
Oh, I've never seen a dog who can pee as long and just look you in the eye the whole time he's doing it.
Not only that, Two-Cow has another special ability. We call it his superpower.
Yeah?
Two-Cow, you know how every animal has like a specialty, like some have like a little spot on the head that looks like a heart. You can always distinguish them. Mm-hmm. If Two-Cow got lost, we could tell if it's Two-Cow because he has an extra organ. And this is a little known fact. Most people don't actually know about this. He does not have a fifth paw.
I thought he had a fifth paw.
He has another bowel organ. And this is, and we don't know how this happened, but this, we found him freezing underneath a car. I did. And we rescued him. And so we don't know the origin of this mutation.
But he doesn't like to be left alone a lot.
He doesn't like to be left alone.
Really don't like it.
He has a little bit of separation anxiety, and he deals with it in a very unique way. So we, a lot of times, leave him alone. You kind of have to have a talk with him. You tell him, be a good boy, no poo-poo.
Maya has a talk with him. He ignores me.
Yeah, he listens to me. He
prays for Maya. He will pray for his dinner.
Yes, I have taught him many things.
This is no bullshit. He prays for his dinner.
I started doing it just for fun. I would pray for his dinner. I would make him sit, and I'd say, we thank the Lord for the food that had died. Go on, the roof that we have over our heads.
Remember the prayer you went that went like 3 minutes, and he said, fuck you, I'm eating? About 2.5 minutes in, he said, no,
I kind of keep them shorter. I kept them shorter because Moo Cow, may she rest in peace, she did not respect religion whatsoever. No. She was much like you heathens, and she used to just dig into his food as he was praying for a little innocent soul.
He was praying that his bowl was open, and the minute she would catch Two-Cow in prayer, she would dart, even to her last days, would dart for his bowl.
She would. She could never run unless it was to take Two-Cow's food.
If it was to take his food, she could run. And she always knew when he was praying, because Maya would go through the big format, so Moo said, all right, time to get his food.
We fold our hands and everything.
She must have one night went after that bowl 4 times, and we kept grabbing her by the collar and pulling her back, and they'd start praying again, and she'd go for that bowl again. And she just had her own food.
Yep.
But she didn't care. She wanted.
It was the principle of it. She was more than atheish.
Yeah, it was her way of saying if you're that fucking stupid to pray for something that you're going to get anyway.
She was George Carlin's dog. That's
I didn't
pray
for my food, and I ate. Chocodoll didn't pray for her food. She ate. You're a fucking idiot.
It's because Two-Cow is an innocent, good soul. So I always pray for him, and it's gotten to the point where if I don't give him if I don't make him sit in front of his food and say the word amen, he will not touch his food.
He doesn't even think he can eat. He's got to prayer or he won't eat.
But the one bad thing about him is that a lot of times we realized when he was a puppy, we would come home and there would be a little present for us.
No, not a little present.
It was a big present.
Big present.
And it started out the big present would just be somewhere.
It's never been a little present.
And, I mean, he was itty bitty. He weighed 35 pounds when we found him.
Thereabout.
These presents were bigger than our heads. They were giant.
And at 35 pounds, he had the ability to drag a 50-pound bag of dog food from the laundry room through the kitchen into the living room, rip it to shreds, and him and Chocodile would have a feast while we were gone.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
50-pound bag of dog food. He did it twice.
Yeah, he was very hungry. So we realized after a while that we should probably put him...
And could lift twice his weight.
We thought after a while maybe it's because he's not well potty trained. We would let him poop before we left, right? So right before we left, we let him out. He'd pee and poop, and we'd come back, and there was still poop.
Here's the pee and poop segment tonight, folks.
And after a while, we realized that it started out the poop would be somewhere in the apartment. After a while, we realized every single time, and this was seriously every single time.
You know what? This show's R-rated. We can say piss and shit here.
Well, it's a doggy. You don't say a dog shit.
Well, you don't, you know, well, yeah, Chris does.
So we realized then, and this is at the old apartment. The old apartment was a mess. Kenny had this huge desk, and his bedroom was very, very small. So it was difficult to climb underneath the desk to do like wires and cables.
You had room for my king-size bed and roughly a foot on one side and a foot and a half to 2 feet on the other.
It was very small. And Tuco we started realizing when we got home that there wasn't just poop. It was always underneath the desk. And it wasn't just somewhere underneath the desk. It was all the way to the back.
Where he knew I couldn't get to it.
The dog knew.
He knew. And every fucking time he shit to the back of the desk. It got to where that I couldn't get to it.
It got to where
he knew I could probably step in it when I sat down to do computer work, but I wouldn't be able to do shit about it.
We would come home, and the first thing we would do is we would let him out of the bedroom, and Chris would check. We would always say, go, Chris, let the dog out and check if there's poop. And we realized after a time, because we would let him out and he would poop and everything, that there's just no way that this dog can poop anymore.
Yeah.
And
he'd go out and poop, and he'd do a 3-stage shit in the yard or poop.
You know what you should have done? You should have put a little scooper and stapled it to your shoe.
Oh, man.
That's why you make the big bucks and you're a thinking man.
Yeah, we weren't that smart.
I just react, and you actually think through this shit.
We were just smart enough to call it grudge poop, because every single time we would leave, he get mad. And he doesn't do it at this apartment.
We've had him right about 2 years. He won't grudge poop down here. I think maybe twice in 50 days.
He did it when he first moved in, because he thought we were leaving him. He has separation
anxiety. But if he goes upstairs, and he really don't like to be left up there, he will grudge shit on them every fucking single time.
And that is a story of Tuco's hidden bowel organ that holds extra grudge poop.
Yeah, he saves some just in case. Like where most of us would hoard food, he hoards shit. Every time. He's never not been able to grudge shit. Oh, you're going to leave me alone? I've got something for you when you get back.
Hang on. I got to tell the story. One time, and you're not going to believe this shit. One time.
Well, if you ain't going to believe it, why are we going to tell it?
He sleeps in my bedroom when I'm upstairs, and he's a really good sleeper.
Anytime anyone opens a story with believe it or not, lean on not.
I don't think I said that. Did I say that? Play the tape.
I'm just warning everybody.
Okay, well, just for future reference.
But you didn't.
Believe it or not.
We're a singing duo, too. We're going to close with Cake by the Ocean, so stay tuned for that.
He usually sleeps on my couch in my bedroom. And so I have him upstairs with me, and in the morning he has to pee really bad. So I took him outside in the morning. He peed, but I didn't have enough time for him to poop, because watching him pee makes me want to pee. So I let him pee. I realized I have to urinate myself.
You love pee.
I watched him pee.
You watched him pee. But
no, that sounds dirty too. I happen to.
But if you watch him pee, it primes you.
I know, yeah. I caught a glimpse of his wee as he's urinating. You know, there's no way of saying this that doesn't sound dirty.
I know. Well, but it's like most of us, if we don't really have to pee, but we start pouring us a glass of water in the sink,
and then suddenly you realize.
So when you watch someone else pee, it makes you got to pee.
Absolutely, yes. Every single time. On a movie, every single time. Yes.
Now, what movies are you watching you're seeing peeing? Has Donald Trump got some video out down there? That's the That's the only P movies I know about, and I ain't seen them.
I pled the fifth. I don't want to talk about this.
A lot of fifth pleas going on in Washington these days.
So I watch him pee. I have to pee. So I go back upstairs, and I just went to the restroom for 15 seconds. Then I come out, and he got mad because I didn't let him poop. He grudge pooped in my bed.
Oh, yeah, he did. That was recent.
Right in my
Wasn't
bed.
that while I was in the hospital?
Yeah, probably was.
I think that was towards the end of my hospital.
Because I had to watch him for a while, but he gets mad. I mean, so mad, like a human. Except we don't poop in our beds. We start passive-aggressive fights.
Speak for yourself. You don't know how many nurses I've pissed off in the hospital, do you? You mean I can't have a double helping of spaghetti? See you in an hour. What happened in your bed? I don't know, but you got to clean it, that's all I know. You're the fucking hired help around here, not me. Oh, by the way, do I get 2 scoops of spaghetti tomorrow?
So this is why you haven't had your surgery yet. They don't want to deal with your ass.
I'm banned from that.
It's the worst in the hospital.
I'm going to have to go to another hospital. They're not going to let me back in there. It's amazing what 68 consecutive days of shitting in a bed will do to a nurse's attitude. Well, I had
really is the perfect dog for you.
I had 2 demands. I don't want a fucking single can of V8 juice. I want a 6-pack, and I want 2 scoops of pasta, or not scoops, but two plates. I wanted 2 plates of pasta. And they'd only bring me 1. So
you realize you were in the hospital because you ate too much.
I was in the hospital because I guess it's because I ate too much.
There you go.
So you got me there.
Can't believe I won an argument against you.
But I pissed 200 gallons away. It ain't because I ate too much. It's because apparently I've been drinking too much. I didn't shit 200 gallons of shit. I pissed 200 gallons of piss. So I think I've been drinking too much. Because if I could shit 200 gallons, I would have done it.
You need to learn from 2 Cal.
At best, I got about 15 pounds in 60 days.
You'd have been grudge pooping over at Jimmy's.
Oh well, if I really was a grudge pooper, I'd have left 3 big piles of shit a day. But I can only do 1. After that, I had to eat what they brought me. But the first, I'd pick my spots. I wasn't going to grudge shit over 1 egg over 2. But if I'd asked for a double helping of lasagna and I got 1, it's all right. I'll see you a little later tonight. You're going to have to bring ice cream and orange juice eventually.
Would you keep laying in it in order to smear it around, make a bigger mess, or would you get out of the bed?
I didn't notice.
You didn't notice? It didn't bother you?
They had to clean me up. It's part of their job.
Part of their job?
Part of their job. I could lay in shit as long as it took for the nurse to get there. It didn't bother me any.
Look at this, America. Kenny Boland making sure that you keep your job.
It was only on my ass. It wasn't like it was all over me. I mean,
your ass is pretty big. Your ass is the size of most giraffes.
Your mouth is pretty big. So say most men with large penises. Did you have to stretch your mouth? Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Lots of practice.
Room to spare. How big is your cock?
I'm an expert.
Inches.
I told you that.
14 inches. John Holmes was only 13. How do you know that, sir? Plead the fifth. Well, boy, this thing turned dirty when we knew the cameras were on, didn't we?
They started calling her Mozart.
We didn't think it was being recorded. It was a nice, clean family show. Hardly any cussing. Nobody was talking about piss shit. Well, maybe I think the 3...
Gotta keep up your reputation, don't you?
The 3-pair thing turned ugly, but I don't even... We didn't know he was being recorded during the 3 drug dealers.
We did not. No, this is like Trump. This is the biggest witch hunt in America, period.
Big witch hunt. I didn't shit that bad. I had my son come down, who does shit 3 times a day and in large amounts.
I
had him do it, but I wouldn't lay in it.
We were on Twitter about 2 days ago, and there was this guy who literally said the N-word.
Hang on. We're an hour and 16 minutes into the show, and this is obviously Jason's interview with the great Maya.
I'm sorry. I'm telling your story, so you should thank me. At least I get to the point. So we're on Twitter.
Well, if you follow your contour of your head, you will.
We're on Twitter, and this guy is telling Kenny that he dropped the soap in front of a well-hung N-word.
He did. On my Twitter wall, right?
Yeah.
Or Facebook.
It was a Twitter.
He did it on Twitter.
And are you familiar with Joe Cronin?
There's a lot.
I've heard of him.
Yeah,
I haven't listened to his show though.
Don't.
Well, that's funny. I was on 4 of them, so I appreciate you tuning in.
4 of them? Really? Was it that many?
I did 2 for him and then 2 bowling alleys.
That's impressive.
He's the shortest reigning host ever in the history of bowling alleys, over 11 years.
You don't have to listen to the show to know that Joe Cronin is a chicken shit. That's kind of the personality that he has. Regardless of what I think of him, he is the kind of person that he can argue a point in fear of pissing off each side. So he kind of goes back and forth.
I did notice that.
Yeah. I mean, you can just listen to his podcast and his tapes, and you will see that. And you will see what I'm talking about.
I think if anyone can say anything about me, I could give less than a rat's fuck of who I piss off.
That's true.
As long as it ain't me.
As long as it's not immoral,
as long as I
you
don't
generally
sit here
don't
and
care.
get myself all riled up, then I'm all right.
So, Joe Cronin responds to this guy, and he's laughing about it and says, "Oh my God, don't say that. I like Kenny." Ha 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 ha. And so I responded and I said, literally, Kenny first said, "I don't condone racial slurs."
She can say literally, but she cannot say Thaddeus. That blows me.
Thaddeus, I just can't.
Adios. I start speaking Spanish to the guy. Adios.